I feel like so many people are just lost and scared and afraid in this world. They're afraid of failing, mostly, afraid of trying something that they'll fail at. But if you think about it, the more you do fail at, the more you will succeed. A lot of younger people, especially, they're, you know, have all this stress because they feel like they have to do these things that everybody's telling them. They have to graduate high school and then go to college and borrow money and just work these jobs that they don't even like. And it's just not true. Like, you can create your own path, your own future in life. It doesn't have to be what everybody else is telling you. There's so many other ways you can live and you can be happy. I started realizing this probably at the end of high school. I got pregnant young, right at the end of high school, and I was planning on going to college. I wanted to learn fashion design and work in the industry in Los Angeles. And I still did that. I still pursued it. And I had my baby. I had my son. He's actually 22 now. It's crazy. Time flies. But I kept going. But as I was going, I realized I didn't want to do the things they were telling me. I didn't want to work as an intern in the fashion industry. I didn't want to leave my baby with strangers and pay them for daycare and all that. So I figured out a different way. I found a way to do what I loved, which was design and fashion, but be there for my son and have the freedom and not have to answer to anybody. I eventually started my own business. It took a few years to figure it out, and I worked some jobs locally. Worked as a bridal seamstress. I worked in an embroidery shop, but I was still there, and I only left him with family. I would never leave him like at a daycare or anything. But it was just a life lesson at the time, something I had to go through and learn. And I realized that there are other ways. There's not just the way that everybody's telling you have to do things. There are so many other ways, and you have to find what's right for you, what's best for you and your family if you have kids. But ultimately, you have to live with your decisions. So you can do what everybody else is telling you, and you could be miserable, or you can find a different way, and you could be happy. And that doesn't mean that life's not going to be hard sometimes, and you're going to have to hustle, and you're going to have to work hard. But it just means that you're going to eventually have more control. You're going to have more freedom, and you're going to be happier with yourself because you chose a path that you wanted to take. You didn't just follow a path and take the path that everybody else is telling you should. The idea that a lot of us heard growing up in high school and even before was that you had to go to college to be successful. And we know now that that's a lie. There are so many successful people. I mean, billionaires. Steve Jobs, I think he only went for a semester of college and he dropped out. Henry Ford, I think he had like a elementary school education. I mean, these are billionaires. Rockefeller, John D. Rockefeller, he was a billionaire. He never went to college. Like, there's not that one path. I don't know how we got to that point where we're telling everybody they have to go to college and owe a bunch of money, and these people are stressed out their whole lives trying to pay it back and working a job that they hate. Why? Because they told you had to? There's so many ways to achieve success in life, and your idea of success might not be the same as somebody else's. So I always tell people, like, write things down, think of your goals. Where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years? I mean, we've all heard of this, but a lot of us don't do it. But if you take the time to do that, you're going to have a better plan. You can work on your plan. You can figure out how to get there, come up with ideas and get creative. And your plan might change along the way, but at least you'll have some idea of where you're headed. A lot of people are just so lost. They don't even know which direction they're headed. They're just blindly following the path that people lead them down. And something else I realized at a young age was that freedom to me equals success. Freedom, flexibility, the power to control your own life, to not have to answer to anybody. Now, I've been self-employed for 16 years. I never had, I haven't had to call into my boss or call in sick or anything like that in so long. And I couldn't imagine doing that now. Like, that sounds like torture to me. If I want to go on a trip, if we want to just take off for a few days, we can do that. My husband and I were both self-employed, but that's something that we worked on. We worked towards and we built it up. And that freedom is so much more valuable to us than, a ton of money. Money is good and we need money and we want to be, have security. We want to have the things we need and be able to do fun things that we want. But ultimately we don't want money to control us. We want to have control over ourselves. So this is something that I've done with my kids. My son, he's older now, he's 22, and my daughter's 10, almost 11. And I've always asked them as they grow up, like, oh, what is something you want to be doing? Think about your day to day, every day. Do you want to be in an office all day? Or do you want to work from home like I do? Or you can have a business somewhere else or work for someone. It's not that you can't work for somebody, but just what kind of lifestyle do you want? That is the better question than what do you want to do when you grow up? What kind of lifestyle do you want? And then figure out how to get it. So I wish you guys all the best, and thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have a beautiful day, and God bless. And I'm going to enjoy this beautiful winter day in Michigan. It's cold, but it's so beautiful. Have a good one.